My name is Christopher Marsh. I am the owner of Country Roads Maple, located in Lewis County. It's right on the Lewis-Gilmer County border. I'm also representative for Smoky Lake for all of West Virginia, Smoky Lake Maple products. Majority of my equipment is made by them. This past season I had approximately 400 taps on 90 to 95% sugar maples, about 5 to 10% red maples. I'll be increasing my production for the 2021 season to 600 taps on this property and an additional 400 to 500 taps that I'll be leasing on an adjoining property. So my projection is to be at 1,000 to 1,100 taps for the 2021 season, and hope to make around 225 to 250 gallons of West Virginia maple syrup. I run tubing system in my sugar bush. One of the biggest disadvantages is also the biggest ally in West Virginia, and that is our elevation change. If you're doing traditional buckets, it's very difficult moving up and down the hill trying to do that. However, with the tubing systems, it's to a great advantage because it creates natural vacuum with the new 3/16 lines. They've been out for about 7, 8 years now, I believe, pretty much in use. I can create 27 inches of natural vacuum with the elevation changes I have from the top of the hills down to the bottom where my collection points are. Once I bring the collection totes here to the sugar shack, I then process the sap through what's called a reverse osmosis machine, most commonly referred to as an RO. This is a small version of an RO. It's what's called a hobby RO. The other line where the concentrate comes out travels in a line that I have on the exterior of the building and comes in through here. At this time I don't have it in here because season's out, but I have a bulk collection tank for my concentrate here. My concentrate comes in here and I hold it, and then it is pumped using a small submersible pump into a head tank up here. Out of the head tank, the sap then travels down and comes into the back of my evaporator here. Inside of my evaporator, I have, this is called a steam hood, and inside of it is what's called a preheater. How the preheater works is the concentrated sap comes down and travels through the preheater. I've had sap outside that had ice floating in it, so the concentrate coming out of my head tank is probably in the low 30s to mid 30s in temperature. It travels through these series of pipes. It kind of looks like a radiator, but it works in the reverse effect of a radiator. What it's doing is the steam, as I boil the sap in the back flue pan, the steam comes around these series of pipes that the sap travels through, and it heats the sap up before it enters into the flue pan. The reason for this is if I take 35 degree concentrate and I dump it into my flue pan, it's going to kill my boil. Whereas by preheating it before it goes in, then it will be able to maintain that boil and operate much more efficiently. It travels out of this float box and comes into this front system here. Smoky Lake developed this. It's called an SSR. It stands for same side reverse. And what it is as you boil sap and you concentrate the sugars down into syrup, you're also concentrating down certain minerals and stuff that are also present in the sap. As those minerals are concentrated down and exposed to heat, they start to sort of bind together, and it creates what is called sugar sand. One of the ways to mitigate that problem is to reverse the flow in your front syrup pans. I always compare it to if you was to reverse the flow in the stream that's out in front of the sugar shack here, you would break everything loose that's sort of in a settled state. So by turning these two valves, you can change the direction of flow. So once again, this is a 2x8 raised flue evaporator. I have the preheater on there, which adds an added amount of efficiency with my steam hood. Also, because I'm in an enclosed, I don't have a traditional sugar shack with a cupola to allow the steam to escape. The steam from my evaporator travels through this front stack and goes out the top of the roof. I get on average 95 to 100 gallons of evaporation rate off of this unit when I'm operating everything perfectly, when I have the proper hard wood that's seasoned properly and I'm firing on my 10-minute intervals and just everything's working well. So that means what I'm doing is I'm removing 100 gallons of water per hour from my concentration sap that I have. So in theory, you could boil off 300 gallons of sap in 3 hours of time when everything's operating perfectly.